Hello, my fellow horsemen from wherever it is you're from. My name is Luis Jimenez, and I'm doing these videos just to share some of the insight that I've come across throughout my career and my search in riding and horsemanship. And what we're going to talk about today is biomechanics. The biomechanics. To me, the biomechanics have really changed the way I ride. They have changed my outlook, my connection to the horse, big time, big time. It really has changed. Why has it changed? Because once you understand how mechanically the mechanism of the horse works, then you can have a deeper connection with your horse. You will have a deeper connection. We in a past video we talked about telepathy with the horse, and of course it's possible, but when you understand how the horse's mechanism is mechanically working, that gives you a very clear image of what is happening inside, and therefore you connect with that part telepathically, and then you have a really fine connection with your horse. That's how you get this incredible fine connection with your horse. And I know it sounds esoteric. It is esoteric. It is very esoteric. But I will tell you this: it's true. It exists. And when the day it happens to you, your riding is going to go up to a whole new level. You will find a whole new level in your riding. So I highly recommend that you look into the biomechanics. I'm still studying biomechanics. It's very deep. There's so much information out there, and so I'm not through with it. But I'm gonna give you today the very basic, the very basics of biomechanics. I would say the tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg. So we're going to talk about today. I'm using this mare as an example. Her name is Tortolita. She's a very special horse to me. And why am I using her? Because she has a very nice conformation. She has a very proportionate conformation, which makes my life easier. So when you have a horse with a very proportionate, very well balanced conformation, that's gonna make your life easier. It's easier to find the points. It's easier to feel the movement and to connect to these points. When you have horses that are a little bit weird, a little bit high on top and low in front, etc. Just to mention an example, it's much harder to find the points. So what we're going to talk about today is the most important and most quintessential part of biomechanics. The absolute most important thing about biomechanics is the horse's spinal column. The horse's spinal column. That is number one. Oh boy, this is number one. Because your horse's health, your horse's life depends on it. So you have to know the horse's spinal column, exactly how and where it goes. Okay, so this is where the spinal column goes. It starts here, it goes through here, and then it goes like that, and then it goes like that, and then it goes like that. Okay, so wow, when I realized that, at some point in my life, I used to think that it just came all the way across like this. Okay, it doesn't come all the way across like this. It goes down here, up to about here. This is where the last, or I would say the first cervical, or the neck vertebrae. This is the first one. Okay, that's the last one. This is the first one, and then this is where it connects with the thoracic vertebrae, and it goes up like that. Okay, so this point here is also known as the base of the neck. It is also known as the base of the neck. Okay, now the base of the neck, there's a lot of people that talk about the base of the neck, is the most important point of the whole horse. Okay, you have to understand this point. Okay, because if it goes like this, my hand, this hand represents the thoracic, and this hand represents the neck or the cervical vertebra. Okay, what happens if I pull the head? Okay, well, this is going to go like that, which would be the equivalent of somebody putting their knee between my shoulders and pulling my head up like that. What can I possibly do? Like, I can't even breathe like this. Same thing happens to the horse. So you got to watch out that doesn't happen. You got to. I know some horses are difficult, and they run away or they've been badly trained. But every time this happens, okay, your horse is in big trouble. Big trouble. Okay, nothing good comes from that. So we got to try and stay away from that. Now, actually, what we want happening here, we want this to go like that. When that goes like that, you have a fabulous horse. When that happens, your horse is ready to do any athletic movement, any athletic movement to the top of his physical brink, okay, to the maximum of his physical brink. But you got to make this happen, okay. You got to train the horse to make this happen. Now, how do you make that happen? How can you possibly make that happen? Do you pull the horse? Do you push the well? How do you do that? Well, I'm going to give you. It's so simple. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. Okay, all you have to do is ride with your legs in contact with his belly. Okay, not push him, not squeeze him. Just touch him with your leg when you ride. When your leg is touching him here, something happens that the horse goes like that. Now, if you're using spurs, and you give little touches with your spur from time. See how sensitive she is? Her skin, because her stomach muscles are activated. Okay, they're automatically activated. So when you touch here, and these muscles tighten or they're activated, and they don't necessarily tighten, but when they're ready to be contracted, well, this creates this effect. Okay, it creates this effect. Okay, so when the horse is like that, you're in good shape. Your horse is safe. Your horse will be good when that happens. That's really good physically for the horse. That brings me to the next point, okay, which is the pole. The pole, okay. Now the pole, this is the great discovery of Francois Boucher, which he discovered that when the horse's pole is decontracted, that means that it's loose, that it can move this way, that it can move that way, this way, that way, that it can, she just woke up. It's early in the morning, so she's not the loosest. She will be after a rider. After a rider, she's completely like this, okay? But when the pole is loose, when the pole is decontracted and can move in this direction, in that direction, in that. But I'm talking about the pole, specifically the pole, not the neck, the pole. Okay, when that happens, the whole horse decontracts. The whole entire system of the horse's top line completely surrenders. Okay, that is the discovery of Francois Boucher. But watch out, watch out, because if you get sucked into that, okay, and you haven't solved this, you're in big trouble. Okay, that's why. What happens if you put draw reins on the horse and you tighten those draw reins? Well, this is probably going to bend, right? Probably going to bend, more than likely going to bend. But also this is going to go like that. When that happens, you're going to cripple your horse. Your horse is going to be crippled. Guaranteed, it's going to be crippled. Believe me, I've tried it, and I'm the first one guilty of sin, but I've learned. So, hopefully you learn. You make mistakes. You have to make mistakes to learn sometimes, but hopefully you learn. So I won't make that mistake for the rest of my life. So we try to stay away from this. This is a collapse. The horse collapsed like that, and then you have a horse. The horse will end up crippled. Guaranteed will end up crippled. The worst things will happen to the horse when that happens. So you got to try to make this go like that, and then you got to soften the pole. You got to work the pole. So what happens, when you get this to happen, you're going to feel the horse, stretch the reins a little bit. You're going to feel the horse in your hand. That's the horse in your hand. The horse is not in your hand when he's running away. Watch out, because I used to, that was a confusion to me. I used to think, well, spur my horse, get him forward. Now I have contact. Wrong idea. That's not contact. That's a horse running away. A horse in contact is a horse that stretched his neck, that projected his neck forward like that. When the horse stretches here, now you have contact. So when you have contact, now you can start working the pole. Now you can start teaching the horse. You have to teach the horse. It's not that you work the pole. You teach the horse to let go of the pole, to be soft in the pole, to turn this way, to turn this way, to turn this way, to flex this way. And then you have a horse with a long neck like that. It's a very different round than when you go like that. When you put a string here and you time the string, then you have this. That's a collapse. That won't work. I promise it won't work. I promise. You're not going to get the best. If this mare is a jumper, you're not going to get the best jump. You're not going to get the best passage. You're not going to get the best piaffe. You're not going to get the best of the horse. The horse might do it because horses are very adaptable. They will do things even if they're not in the best of conditions of doing it. They will still do it. They will still do it. And you're going to say, well, my horse is still doing it. Yeah, but I'm talking about the brilliance. I'm talking about the horse's health being protected, the horse's soundness being protected. I'm talking about the correct way to do it. Okay, so the correct way to do it, you have to make this happen, and then you have to soften the pole. You have to teach the horse to soften the pole, and then you're going to have a sound horse. Then you're going to have a horse that can do his maximum athletic effort. Just by that, only by that. Okay, but that takes time. It takes understanding. It takes time. It takes tact. It takes, each horse is different. Some horses react differently, so you have to use a little bit, your feeling, your tact. So anyway, I don't want to make this video any longer. It's quite long already, and maybe we'll do another chapter on biomechanics. But if you take this today, this is it. Believe me, this is it. Just to illustrate, this is what happens when the horse does this. Flex the pole, okay? And this, I'm stealing this from Dr. Bennett. Dr. Deb Bennett was an incredible, knowledgeable person. I mean, she knows more about horses than anybody else I know. And of course, I study her all the time. And this is what happens to the neck, okay? So imagine somebody put a pink chewing gum right on the crown of your head, okay? Now you're trying to stick that chewing gum in the ceiling, okay? So you would do this, and you would do this. Look, my neck got really long, and the pole is loose. So I went like that. That's the neck. That's the neck. That's the neck. Long neck, flex pole. Not compact neck. Long neck, flex pole. Okay, now to give you an example, look at BC Madden's horses. Look at Scott Brash's horses. Look at Steve Gerdat's horses. I mean, look at these riders. You're going to see a good neck. You're going to see a very different round, a very different neck than the ones that pull. Not pull. I'm not saying these riders don't use draw reins, because this is very, very polemic. There's a lot of discussion, and you might see them with a draw ring. Say, hey, see, I saw that he has a draw ring. Yeah, watch how they use the draw ring. These people are experts, and they don't really tighten the draw ring. They don't really tighten it. Okay, they're watching the neck. They know how to use that. I personally do not use draw rings ever. I don't even own a pair of draw rings. I personally don't even have them. But some of these riders you're going to see with draw rings, and you say, well, see, they got draw rings. How come they don't have a problem? How come they're jumping the Olympics, jumping the Grand Prix? Well, watch the neck. The point is the neck. If they go like that, It's not going to work. And they don't do that. These top writers I just mentioned, they don't do that. Jerome Duval, Albert Bourne, Ian Miller. Watch those necks. They're very different necks. Very, very different necks than the ones that are pulled compact. Okay. And just to end this video, I'm going to leave you with these words of my, for sure, my idol, one of my top idols, which is Buck Brenneman. And when they asked him, "Do you ever need a vet?" and he said, "Never." Very bluntly, he said, "Never." And he said, "How come you never need a vet?" He says, "Because of the way I ride him. Because of the way I ride him, I don't need a vet." The vets are going to hate me for this, but I love vets. I use vets when I have to use a vet. But if you take care of the base of the neck and the pole, you're not going to need the vet that much. You're not going to need it that much. I never use the needle. I never drug my horses. Never, ever, ever. Because I feel that's like I'm fooling myself. I'm kidding myself. If I have to drug a horse, if I have to infiltrate his joints, well, something's wrong. Something's wrong. This mare, she's 10 years old. She's never had a needle in her body. Well, she once had a little colic, so maybe we have to give her a little colicky, not much. Maybe she had a shot, but it was once since I have her, and I have her since she was 3 years old. One time, just one time. Even that, colics are not necessarily connected to this. A little bit they are, but not necessarily 100% connected to this. Other than that, this mare, we don't bring needles to the horse. We don't use drugs. We don't use I don't believe in that. If I have to, well, I guess I'll use it, but I try not to. And she's been sound, and I got all these videos. She goes to the show. She wins all these classes. She's brilliant. She tries her heart out. She's super careful. She's super. And but we watch this. This is where her health comes from. We watch this. Her neck, her spinal column. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. I hope it helps. It's helped me. I'm just sharing what I know. You could disagree. You could not want to do it. That's fine. But I'm just sharing what has helped me, what has changed my life, what has improved my writing, what's at least I feel it. I don't know if I'm not in the Olympics. I didn't go to the Olympics. I won a Pan American medal a lot of years back. So, but it has nothing to do with this. It has absolutely nothing to do with this. I'm talking about the writing, the good writing. And then after that, your competitive record, that's a whole different subject. When we're talking about the writing, the correct writing, the study, what has made me feel that my search has found an infinite abundance of sensations, of connections, and that is the richness of writing. That is really what I was after since the very beginning. I didn't know that. The beginning, maybe you're thinking, well, I want to be famous, I want to win classes. Maybe that's the main motivation at some point when you start writing. But then later, you say, wait a minute, I'm in this for something else. There's got to be something else. Well, this will change you if you understand the biomechanics. If you start having telepathic communication with your horse, it will take your writing to a whole new level, and then you're going to think, I'm in heaven. That's heaven. To me, that's heaven. So I hope it helps you, and keep trying. And when it happens, you'll know that you reach that point, and then from then on, it's just beautiful. It's magical. I'll leave it with that. Till next time.